Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the last video, I think, for the day. Yeah, it is for the day. We getting back in our book club reading, The Trilateral Commission by Holly Schuyler. And this is on the Trilateral Commission, a subset of the Illuminati. There's the Illuminati, it's a hierarchy, it's many subsets, but the goal is still the same from the subgroups, the subsets, even in mathematics, of a one world, a new world order, one world dictatorship, one world religion, and one world currency. The goal is still the same, even though it's called by different names, different members. So we have made it to chapter 3. Wait a minute. Okay. The purpose. This is the commission's purpose, structure, and programs in its own words. The material compiled by the editor in this section is drawn from the following commission documents: Constitution of the Trilateral Commission, 1973, when it was birthed. The Trilateral Commission, a prospective issue, March 15, 1973, Statement of Purposes, issued by the Executive Committee of the Trilateral Commission, October 1973. Trilateral Commission Annual Reports, 1 through 6, Financial Statements, Trilogue, and Regular Information Brochures. Purpose: to foster cooperation among trilateral regions. The introduction to the Commission prospectus cautions that domestic concerns in Japan, Europe, and the U.S. make it difficult to resolve problems in ways which will not drive these regions apart. But because of their technological and economic interdependence, these areas have sufficient common interests to make up a community, in fact, if not informed. The choice between these two directions, between drifting apart and closer cooperation among the three advanced regions, will shape the world of the future. A private group can play a role in making that choice. To this end, David Rockefeller, he has 6 heart implants. Where he get all these hearts from? Mm. He got his start from the Rothschilds loaned him money, and he first thing he did was start Standard Oil, and then he opened up a bank, Manhattan Bank, and there you have it, Illuminati. To this end, David Rockefeller had proposed the formation of a trilateral commission of leading private citizens from Japan, Europe, and North America, whose primary objective, as I see it, would be to bring the best brains in the world to bear on the problems of the future, to shape governmental and non governmental actions. Inaugurated in July 1973, the Trilateral Commission is a policy making organization. The Commission seeks to formulate and propose policies with regions and nations within regions could follow in their relations with one another, in their foreign relations in general, and in the solution of common domestic problems, including particularly relations and problems involving economic matters, political and defense matters, developing countries, and communist countries, and to foster understanding and support of the Commission's recommendations both in governmental and private sectors in those regions, to renovate the international system. Here we go. The renovation of the international system will be a very prolonged process. The system, shaped after World War II, was created through an act of will and human initiative in a relatively restricted time period. One power had overwhelming might and influence, and others were closely associated with it. In contrast, a renovated international system will now require a process of creation, much longer and more complex, in which prolonged negotiations will have to be initiated and developed. In nurturing habits and practice of working together among the trilateral regions, the Commission will help set the context for these steps. The Trilateral Commission dismisses criticism of its basic aims with these remarks. This cooperation does not involve setting up super government to run the advanced world. It means that the developed regions coming to closer together in joint programs and institutions to meet common needs. It does not envision a new anti-communist alliance. Indeed, at some point in the future, the more advanced communist states might choose to become partners. It does it does not foreshadow a rich man's club. Working more closely together, the industrial areas may not only sustain their own security and prosperity, but also provide more effective assistance to poor nations. Membership. Initially about 180 and now some 300 eminent private citizens commissioners from the three regions sharing common concerns about the future of regions in the world. The need for diversity professionally and geographically will be met, as well as the need for men and women of sufficient standing to influence opinion leaders, both public and private, in favor of the Commission's recommendation. Leadership. We're going to see who's who. Director. During the first 3 years of the Commission, they appointed Berninsky, who helped groom Obama, with heavy responsibilities in the area of policy studies based in North American office. It was agreed that Commission administration would proceed in more decentralized manner in the new phase. Now, there is a coordinator chosen by the executive committee, George Franklin, who oversees the overall operation of the commission, but the responsibilities of the European Paris and Japanese Tokyo offices have been considerably strengthened, notably in managing task forces. Regional chairman. The three regional chairmen are the chief executive officers in charge of the commission's activities. Succeeding chairmen are chosen by the executive committee members from the respective regions. Executive Committee. The Executive Committee is the primary policy organ of the Commission. It initiates policy studies in consultation with the Director, reviews task force recommendations, make policy decisions, and implement Commission proposals. Program Advisory Board. The board is a small informal group of commissioners which advises the director and regional chairman on policy studies. Meetings. The founding session was held October 73 in Tokyo. The full commission first met May 30th, 31st, 1975 in Kyoto, 113 members. And I'm not going to get off of that. Consultation with heads of states, high government officials, and prominent politicians of host nations are a regular feature of meetings. Executive committee meetings and regional meetings are regularly reviewed in trilogue and in the annual reports. The commission was originally expected to operate for a limited period of 3 years, sufficient time. It was hoped by Rockefeller and others to forge a new framework for the foreign and domestic policies of the trilateral regions. But in December 1975 and again in July 1978, the Commission renewed its 3 year mandate. Funding. Follow the money. Seed monies was provided by David Rockefeller and supplemented with grants from Kettering Foundation. Now this fucked me up. The Ford Foundation. Now, see, they ain't take no money. Henry Ford didn't take no money from the Illuminati or the government when they went down. But they are funding the Trilateral Commission when it started. Wow. The Lilly Endowment, the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, and the Tyson Foundation. Other individuals and corporations provided smaller donations, according to the commission. Let me see. David Rockefeller gave 109,000. That was a lot of money in 73. David Packard, chairman of Hewlett Packard. You see how they all work together? Heads of state gave $88,000. George Franklin gave $41,000. In the same period, the Ford Foundation gave 500 grand. The Lilly Foundation gave 300 grand. The Rockefeller Brothers Fund gave 150,000. The Kettering Foundation 40,000. The Tyson Foundation 94,000. General Motors, Sears Robot, Caterpillar Tractor, Deere, and Exxon gave 30,000 each. This was a lot of money in 73. Texas Instruments gave 20,000, and Coca-Cola, Time, CBS, and Wells Fargo Bank gave from 3,500 to 7,500. Total receipts is 1,577,133. Now for the second 3-year period, let's see who gave. The commission received 631,000 from foundations, $93,000 from corporations, 125,000 from individuals, 25,000 from investment income. The commission also received Canadian contributions of 28,000, European and Japanese contributions of 78,000. New corporate donors listed in the second include Honeywell, Cargill, Cummins Engine, Kazar Resources, Bitchell, and Weyerhaeuser. So their regional headquarters is in New York, New York. Damn. The European office is in France, and the Japanese office is in Tokyo, Japan. Ooh. Policy studies. One of the purpose of the commission is to involve leaders in the private sector, each region, in cooperative study of important issues affecting the regions. Trilateral policy studies are carried out by task forces. Task forces are appointed by a director in consultation with regional chairmen and consist of representatives from all regions. Task force members and special consultants include commissioners and non-commissioners who are leading experts in subject chosen for study. Let me see. Impact meetings are hosted by a commission in order to sharpen the impact of its work among decision makers and to generate favorable press coverage of the task force findings. Okay, we done with chapter 3. Okay, we going into who's who. All right, so when it first started, we got Berninsky, who groomed Obama. He was director 73 to 76. George Franklin was the coordinator. And I'm only going to use people we know. David Rockefeller was chairman 1977 to whenever. This book was written in 1980, so he died a few years back at 100. Shoot, I don't know who these people are. Lacey Wilson, understudy of state security assistance. Let me see. Berninsky, assistant to the president for national security affairs, because he worked under Nixon. Jimmy Carter, president. These are some of the members. President. Warren Christopher, deputy secretary of state. He also, the Warren Commission when JFK passed away. Richard Cooper, undersecretary of state for economic affairs. I don't know who these are. Many of these names appear on the commission's list of former members now in public service. Some members did not resign from the commission upon assuming office. 2. Bernstein and Hamilton have participated in the commission as task force leaders, but are not regular members. Let's see. Walter Mondale, vice president. He was under Ford, wasn't he? Cyrus Vance, Secretary of State, resigned 1980. Andrew Young, Black Boule, Ambassador to the United Nations, resigned 1979. Paul Volcker, he was Chairman of the Federal Reserve. Now we got Canadian trilateralists in 73. Let me see if we know any of these. Lord Carrington, Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs. Then we have the Japanese trilateralists. I know I don't know none of them. Executive Committee members. David Rockefeller, William Roth, William Scranton, 1973. 79, Henry Kissinger, David Rockefeller. With Europe, I don't know these people. Man, I need a deep dive on this. With each person's name in biological sketch, including dates of commission, membership, and any trilateral commissions, positions, current and former job positions, organizational, political, business, and academic affiliations, and trilateral publications. All right, let me see here. So we got the United States. Let me see. Do we know anybody on here? I don't know these people. I need to look them up. We know they got some money. I could tell you that. Beninsky, he was National Secretary of Affairs, Energy Resource Coordinator. Damn, he had a lot of positions. George Bush, this is Senior George, part of Trilateral. See where it's going? Illuminati subset. Adjacent professor at Rice University, Director of Central Intelligence, 7677. Chief U.S. Liaison Office in Peking, Ambassador to the UN, Republic House of Representatives. Jimmy Carter, U.S. President, State Senator. Warren Christopher, Secretary of State, 77. Attorney General, 67, 69. Hmm, I don't know any of these people. Henry Kissinger. Mm. Hello? I know because it's new construction, but um I don't know what I'll have to call you back because I'm live. Okay, bye. So I said Henry Kissinger. Oh, Winston Lord. I forget. Oh, Walter Mondale. He was vice president. David Rockefeller. Trilateral Commission 77. Chase Manhattan Bank president. Rockefeller Brothers Fund, Headed Coalition, Rockefeller Center, Chicago, New York, Bilderberg Group, Round Table, Straight Up Illuminati, John D. Rockefeller IV, Governor of West Virginia, Commission on Coal, White House Counsel, State for Far Eastern Affairs, Rockefeller Fund, Council of Foreign Relations, William Roth, Roth Properties, Harvard President 69, Special Rep on Trade Negotiations, Pacific National Life Assurance, Cyrus Vance, Secretary of State 77, part of the Bilderberg Group, Council of Foreign Relations, Rockefeller Fund, Yale. Oh, he probably has Skull and Bones. Paul Wagner, he was chairman of the Federal Reserve. I did a paper on him. Oh, he worked at the Treasury Department, Council of Foreign Relations, Germany, the Federal National Mortgage Association, Rockefeller Fund, Friends London School of Economics. Now we in Canada. Duh, 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 duh. Europe. Ireland. I know I ain't gonna know nobody in Ireland. Italy. Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Spain, UK, Lord Carrington. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know any of these people. That's why ain't no need of going through the whole list. And I'm gonna look up these people. Guide to Japanese membership. Let me see. I should be finished with this chapter. 3 Japanese attended the planning session of the Trilateral Commission held at Rockefeller Estate in 1972. See, creating the Trilateral Commission. Okita, an economist who had been working with successful Japanese governments in economic planning since World War II. Majewski, an academic who studied at the University of Paris and Princeton. And Kiichi Mawaye, a liberal Democratic Party politician who had been involved extensively in international trade and industry affairs. My wife became acquainted with David Rockefeller when he went to the U.S. to study just before the start of the Pacific War, while the other 2 Japanese participants were selected by the Yamato director of Japan International Exchange Center on the request of George Franklin. Mawai was invited by Rockefeller himself. Japanese role in what is now called the shadow world government, you can't make this up, was formalized in 1973 when the Trilateral Commission held its first general meeting in Tokyo. You can't make this up. Well, this is all Japan. And you know I don't know none of these people. Part four, we'll be getting into elite planning World War II through the 1980s. This gonna get real good. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.